fellow cosmic citizens, and welcome to another show of Cosmic Cafe. My name is Deborah Lee, and I produce this show in order to tell the world, everyone that will listen, I tell, that the Rancher book is on the planet. And let's see, I need to come up with a quick rundown for people that are tuning into my show for the first time. It's kind of hard to put the Rancher book in a nutshell, though, I'll tell you that. The Rancher book is a gift to this planet from our celestial brothers and sisters. This book was published in 1955. There is no copyright, as there have to be human authors in order to have a copyright. So there's no copyright on this book. The Rancher Foundation, or the Rancher Fellowship now, protects the contents of this book so that however it may be changed by anyone, the original text is always closely guarded. And the Rancher book's been translated into many languages. It tells us that it is a gift from our universe brothers and sisters, a gift meant to coordinate essential knowledge and reveal truth to this planet and to this generation, well, and all future generations. This is a new revelation of truth, and I have been reading this book for 30 years. It has benefited me tremendously in assisting me to live life in a very positive manner. I see life very differently than I did before I got the Rancher book. I was quite, I looked out and saw mostly negative through these eyes before I found the Rancher book, and it has just expanded my consciousness. Truly, it's very deep reading, very beautiful reading, and so that's why I want to turn everyone on to the Rancher book. And very quickly, actually, I didn't do a lot of preparation that I should have done for today's show. I didn't really get to prepare at all. And speaking of where the Rancher book comes from, very quickly I'm going to read the very first page of the foreword. And when this book was first in my hands, and I first read this one page, I was completely certain that this was the book I had asked for, because I was just talking about this with a friend recently. I had a tragedy in my teen years that caused me to become quite angry with God, and so I was really angry with God for quite a while, for quite a few years, and then I started a spiritual search. You know, I sat down with a Bible. I was going to read the Bible from front to back, because a large book doesn't scare me if it's good reading. You know, it's an adventure. So, but anyway, I started with the Bible, and I only got about 100 pages into the Bible before I really decided this was not what I was looking for, because really I was looking for like unadulterated truth. And while I found much truth, beauty, and goodness in the Bible, I also did find men's opinions. I mean, there's no question in my mind, you know, God is not sexist, period. He's not, you know. Well, anyway, and this the wrath of God, that totally lost me. I just never could buy that, you know. Wrath is a very unpleasant human emotion. And, you know, I think over the centuries, people have said, well, the Bible says that man was made in the image of God, so God must be angry and wrathful. You know, no. I was always certain of that if there was a God, he was not wrathful and angry. and also that he did not require his son, his paradise son, to be tortured in order to appease his wrath. I just never bought that at all. So anyway, I'm going to read this page to you that this made a tremendous impression on me when I first heard it. And this is written by, I'll tell you, since I'm not going to read the whole thing, I will tell you to begin with who is speaking here. Okay, this foreword that I'm going to be reading from was indited by an Orvonton divine counselor, chief of the Corps of Super-Universe Personalities, assigned to portray on Urantia the truth concerning the paradise deities and the universe of universes. Now that's the author of this foreword. So that's who's speaking here. In the minds of the mortals of Urantia, that being the name of your world, there exists great confusion respecting the meaning of such terms as God, divinity, and deity. Human beings are still more confused and uncertain about the relationships of the divine personalities designated by these numerous appellations. Because of this conceptual poverty associated with so much ideational confusion, I have been directed to formulate this introductory statement in explanation of the meanings which should be attached to certain word symbols as they may be hereinafter used in those papers which the Orvonton Corps of Truth Revealers have been authorized to translate into the English language of Urantia. It is exceedingly difficult to present enlarged concepts and advanced truth in our endeavor to expand cosmic consciousness and enhance spiritual perception when we are restricted to the use of a circumscribed language of the realm. But our mandate admonishes us to make every effort to convey our meaning by using the word symbols of the English tongue. We have been instructed to introduce new terms only when the concept to be portrayed finds no terminology in English which can be employed to convey such a new concept, partially, or even with more or less distortion of meaning. In the hope of facilitating comprehension and of preventing confusion on the part of every mortal who may peruse these papers, we deem it wise to present in this initial statement an outline of the meanings to be attached to numerous English words which are to be employed in designation of deity and certain associated concepts of the things, meanings, and values of universe reality. But in order to formulate this foreword of definitions and limitations of terminology, it is necessary to anticipate the usage of these terms in the subsequent presentations. This foreword is not, therefore, a finished statement within itself. It is only a definitive guide designed to assist those who shall read the accompanying papers dealing with deity and the universe of universes, which have been formulated by an Orvonton commission sent to Urantia for this purpose. Your world, Urantia, is one of many similar inhabited planets which comprise the local universe of Nebadon. This universe, together with similar creations, makes up the super-universe of Orvonton, from whose capital, Uversa, our commission hails. Orvonton is one of the 7 evolutionary super-universes of time and space, which circle the never-beginning, never-ending creation of divine perfection, the central universe of Havana. At the heart of this eternal and central universe is the stationary Isle of Paradise, the geographic center of infinity, and the dwelling place of the eternal God. The 7 evolving superuniverses, in association with the central and divine universe, we commonly refer to as the grand universe. These are the now organized and inhabited creations. They are all a part of the master universe, which also embraces the uninhabited but mobilizing universes of outer space. Now I'm going to read the last page of this foreword. Actually, it's an acknowledgement at the end of the foreword. And in just a minute I'll tell you why, but first I'm going to read this acknowledgement. In formulating the succeeding presentations having to do with the portrayal of the character of the Universal Father and the nature of his paradise associates, together with an attempted description of the perfect central universe and the encircling 7 superuniverses, we are to be guided by the mandate of the superuniverse rulers, which directs that we shall, in all our efforts to reveal truth and coordinate essential knowledge, give preference to the highest existing human concepts pertaining to the subjects to be presented. We may resort to pure revelation only when the concept of presentation has had no adequate previous expression by the human mind. Successive planetary revelations of divine truth invariably embrace the highest existing concepts of spiritual values as a part of the new and enhanced coordination of planetary knowledge. Accordingly, in making these presentations about God and his universe associates, we have selected as the basis of these papers more than 1,000 human concepts representing the highest and most advanced planetary knowledge of spiritual values and universe meanings, wherein these human concepts, assembled from the God-knowing mortals of the past and present, are inadequate to portray the truth as we are directed to reveal it, we will unhesitatingly supplement them. For this purpose, drawing upon our own superior knowledge of the reality and divinity of the paradise deities and their transcendent residential universe. We are fully cognizant of the difficulties of our assignment. We recognize the impossibility of fully translating the language of the concepts of divinity and eternity into the symbols of the language of the finite concepts of the mortal mind. But we know that there dwells within the human mind a fragment of God, and that there sojourns with the human soul the Spirit of truth. And we further know that these spirit forces conspire to enable material man to grasp the reality of spiritual values and to comprehend the philosophy of universe meanings. But even more certainly, we know that these spirits of the divine presence are able to assist man in the spiritual appropriation of all truth, contributory to the enhancement of the ever-progressing reality of personal religious experience, God consciousness. And again, that was indicted by an Orvanton divine counselor, chief of the Corps of Super-Universe Personalities, assigned to portray on Urantia the truth concerning the paradise deities and the universe of universes. I'm telling you, the book had me when I read when I read that first page, and the reason that I skipped from the first page of the foreword to the last page, and it's 16 pages long, this foreword, is because, oddly, I think it's relatively odd, that at the very beginning of the book, is the most incomprehensible to many people, certainly to me. Many people have trouble with the material in this foreword. It is the most complex reading in the entire book, in my opinion. And I have met people that have read it and say they understand it and it makes perfect sense, but I'm not one of those people. One of these days, I've just recently found out that some Urantia groups actually have, well, there's lots of study aids to the Urantia book and lots of study groups of the Urantia book. And if you'll contact the Urantia Foundation, well, I think you can go to truthbook.org or the Urantia Foundation. I'm not clear. I haven't gone to the Urantia Foundation site. It might be the urantiafoundation.org that individual readers contact the Urantia Foundation and say, do you know of any other readers in my area? And so the Urantia Foundation coordinates that, puts people in touch with other people. So that's how a lot of study groups have happened across the United States. And they have study aids for, there's for studying this forward. And I think actually here in Asheville, just last Saturday, a group of Urantia readers has started meeting. It's only going to be once a month, but for the next 2 months for sure, it's going to be the second Saturday of each month at the library out on Merriman Avenue from 2 to 3:30. So anyone interested in the Urantia book or anyone that has the Urantia book is welcome to come and meet some fellow readers, and we study the book together and socialize a little bit. So, okay, well, that's that. And like I said, I really have not, I'm sorry to say, I haven't really prepared today. I just didn't have time to get to it. I'm just going to start reading a few just sort of random things, really, because this book is just so full of beautiful things, but I came across this one. This is one of my most favorite paragraphs in the entire Urantia book. So I'm going to read that. You humans have begun an endless unfolding of an almost infinite panorama, a limitless expanding of never-ending, ever-widening spheres of opportunity for exhilarating service, matchless adventure, sublime uncertainty, and boundless attainment. When the clouds gather overhead, your faith should accept the fact of the presence of the God within you, and thus you should be able to look beyond the mists of mortal uncertainty into the clear shining of the sun of eternal righteousness on the beckoning heights of the mansion worlds. Okay, that's a really good one. Let's see. Okay, this is another one I really. This is a section of a paper, and the paper is called "The Adjuster and the Soul." Now, I actually haven't read a lot of that talking about the adjuster, and throughout the book, the adjuster is mentioned. It's referred to as the mystery monitor. It's speaking about this fragment of God, which the first in this foreword mentioned that there is a fragment, a literal, actual fragment of God within each human being of normal mind that is always there. That is our unerring guide. And if we will, it does not jump up and down and scream and say, listen to me. It just very quietly tries to tug you in a certain direction, but it is your choice to go in that direction or not. And a person has to get fairly quiet and still, I think, to, before one could ever actually hear this adjuster. So anyway, they call this fragment of God the thought adjuster. So this is in the section on the adjuster and the soul. And this is paper 1. The mind arena of choice. I've read this before, but it's really a great paper. Okay, though the work of adjusters is spiritual in nature, they must perforce do all of their work upon an intellectual foundation. Mind is the human soil from which the spirit monitor, the thought adjuster, must evolve the Marantia soul with the cooperation of the indwelt personality. Marantia, that's another word that's a new word to this planet. And the Marantia soul, or Marantia, is the area where when we cross over, when we leave this world, the next world we go to is called the Marantia level. And it is a little less spiritual than this level. A little less material than this level, and a little more spiritual than this level, which is going to be a progression that will go on for a very long time, according to this, until we all ultimately attain paradise. Okay, so maybe I'll start over again, because this Marantia word, I think that could stick a lot of people, and I wanted to define that. So very quickly again, though the work of the adjusters is spiritual in nature, they must perforce do all of their work upon an intellectual foundation. Human mind is the soil from which the spirit monitor must evolve the Marantia soul with the cooperation of the indwelt personality. There is a cosmic unity in the several mind levels of the universe of universes. Intellectual selves have their origin in the cosmic mind, much as nebulae take origin in the cosmic energies of universe space. On the human, hence personal level, of intellectual selves, the potential of spirit evolution becomes dominant. With the ascent of the mortal mind, because of the spiritual endowments of the human personality, together with the creative presence of an entity point of absolute value in such human selves, the thought adjuster. But such a spirit dominance of the material mind is conditioned upon two experiences. This mind must have evolved up through the ministry of the 7 adjunct mind spirits. And again, that's elsewhere in the book. Those are explained. Okay. And the material personal self must choose to cooperate with the indwelling adjuster in creating and fostering the Marantia self, the evolutionary and potentially immortal soul. Material mind is the arena in which human personalities live, are self-conscious, make decisions, choose God or forsake Him, eternalize or destroy themselves. Material evolution has provided you a life machine, your body. The Father Himself has endowed you with the purest spirit reality known in the universe, your thought adjuster. But into your hands, subject to your own decisions, has been given mind, and it is by mind that you live or die. It is within this mind and with this mind that you make those moral decisions which enable you to achieve God-likeness. Mortal mind is a temporary intellect system loaned to human beings for use during a material lifetime. And as they use this mind, they are either accepting or rejecting the potential of eternal existence. Mind is about all you have of universe reality that is subject to your will. And the soul, the Marancha self, will faithfully portray the harvest of the temporal decisions which the mortal self is making. Human consciousness rests gently upon the electrochemical mechanism below and delicately touches the spirit Marancha energy system above. Of neither of these two systems, is the human being ever completely conscious in his mortal life. Therefore must he work in mind, of which he is conscious. And it is not so much what mind comprehends as what mind desires to comprehend that ensures survival. It is not so much what mind is like as what mind is striving to be like that constitutes spirit identification. It is not so much that man is conscious of God as that man yearns for God that results in universe ascension. What you are today is not so important as what you are becoming day by day and in eternity. Mind is the cosmic instrument on which the human will can play the discords of destruction, or upon which this same human will can bring forth the exquisite melodies of God identification and consequent eternal survival. The adjuster bestowed upon man is, in the last analysis, impervious to evil and incapable of sin. But mortal mind can actually be twisted, distorted, and rendered evil and ugly by the sinful machinations of a perverse and self-seeking human will. Likewise, can this mind be made noble, beautiful, true, and good, actually great, in accordance with the spirit-illuminated will of a God-knowing human being. Okay, let me see. I am skipping through the book, and there's a lot of really interesting material here on the thought adjuster, but I'm skipping forward now, and this is the paper Personality Survival. And just a minute ago, I was looking through the book to see what I was going to read, so I opened it to this title. I have not read this paper in a long time, so I'm hoping that it's not super or too complicated. But anyway, the survival of the human self. So I'm going to just read this. Selfhood is a cosmic reality, whether material, Maranchal, or spiritual. The actuality of the personal is the bestowal of the Universe Father, the Universal Father, acting in and of himself, or through his manifold universe agencies. To say that a being is personal is to recognize the relative individuation of such a being within the cosmic organism. The living cosmos is an all but infinitely integrated aggregation of real units, all of which are relatively subject to the destiny of the whole. But those that are personal have been endowed with the actual choice of destiny acceptance or of destiny rejection. That which comes from the Father is like the Father, eternal, and this is just as true of personality, which God gives by his own free will choice, as it is of the divine thought adjuster, an actual fragment of God. Man's personality is eternal, but with regard to identity, a conditioned eternal reality. Having appeared in response to the Father's will, personality will attain deity destiny, but man must choose whether or not he will be present at the attainment of such destiny. In default of such choice, personality attains experiential deity directly, becoming a part of the Supreme Being. The cycle is foreordained, but man's participation therein is optional, personal, and experiential. Well, I don't know. That's a little deep. I think I'm going to go in search of something else. And it shouldn't take me long to find something else because there is so much good stuff to read. As a matter of fact, one of the very last pages of this book is quite powerful. This book has 2,097 pages. And it's quite a long read, but it's quite a wonderful read. And I am looking for one particular paper, which the future, Christianity's problem. This is the paper I was looking for. And this is, I think, actually telling it just exactly like it is. Okay, here we go. Christianity's Problem, page 2082 in the Big Blue Book. Do not overlook the value of your spiritual heritage, the river of truth running down through the centuries, even to the barren times of a materialistic and secular age. In all your worthy efforts to rid yourselves of the superstitious creeds of past ages, make sure that you hold fast the eternal truth. But be patient. When the present superstition revolt is over, the truths of Jesus' gospel will persist gloriously to illuminate a new and better way. But paganized and socialized Christianity stands in need of new contact with the uncompromised teachings of Jesus. It languishes for lack of a new vision of the Master's life on earth. A new and fuller revelation of the religion of Jesus is destined to conquer an empire of materialistic secularism and to overthrow a world's sway of mechanistic naturalism. This is a very beautiful sentence. Urantia is now quivering on the very brink of one of its most amazing and enthralling epochs of social readjustment, moral quickening, and spiritual enlightenment. The teachings of Jesus, even though greatly modified, survived the mystery cults of their birth time, the ignorance and superstition of the Dark Ages, and are even now, slowly triumphing over the materialism, mechanism, and secularism of the 20th century. And such times of great testing and threatened defeat are always times of great revelation. Religion does need new leaders, spiritual men and women who will dare to depend solely on Jesus and his incomparable teachings. If Christianity persists in neglecting its spiritual mission, while it continues to busy itself with social and material problems, the spiritual renaissance must await the coming of these new teachers of Jesus' religion, who will be exclusively devoted to the spiritual regeneration of men. And then will these spirit-born souls quickly supply the leadership and inspiration requisite for the social, moral, economic, and political reorganization of the world. The modern age will refuse to accept a religion which is inconsistent with facts and out of harmony with its highest conceptions of truth, beauty, and goodness. The hour is striking for a rediscovery of the true and original foundations of present-day distorted and compromised Christianity, the real life and teachings of Jesus. Primitive man lived a life of superstitious bondage to religious fear. Modern civilized men dread the thought of falling under the dominance of strong religious convictions. Thinking man has always feared to be held by a religion. When a strong and moving religion threatens to dominate him, he invariably tries to rationalize, traditionalize, and institutionalize it, thereby hoping to gain control of it. By such procedure, even a revealed religion becomes man-made and man-dominated. Modern men and women of intelligence evade the religion of Jesus because of their fears of what it will do to them and with them. And all such fears are well-founded. The religion of Jesus does indeed dominate and transform its believers, demanding that men dedicate their lives to seeking for a knowledge of the will of the Father in heaven, and requiring that the energies of life be consecrated to the unselfish service of the brotherhood of man. Selfish men and women simply will not pay such a price for even the greatest spiritual treasure ever offered mortal man. Only when man has become sufficiently disillusioned by the sorrowful disappointments attendant upon the foolish and deceptive pursuits of selfishness, and subsequent to the discovery of the barrenness of formalized religion, will he be disposed to turn wholeheartedly to the gospel of the kingdom, the religion of Jesus of Nazareth. The world needs more first-hand religion. Even Christianity, the best of the religions of the 20th century, is not only a religion about Jesus, but it is so largely one which men experience secondhand. They take their religion wholly as handed down by their accepted religious teachers. What an awakening the world would experience if it could only see Jesus as he really lived on earth and know firsthand his life-giving teachings. Descriptive words of things beautiful cannot thrill like the sight thereof. Neither can creedal words inspire men's souls like the experience of knowing the presence of God. But expectant faith will ever keep the hope door of man's soul open for the entrance of the eternal spiritual realities of the divine values of the worlds beyond. Well, I have a little more time and could continue reading, but I don't think I will. There's something that I just noticed the other day that I just kind of wanted to speak about. I find it quite disturbing and a glaring sign of our times. I just noticed for the first time, I've been driving by it many times, but behind the courthouse in Asheville, they're building a new prison. And I'm so disheartened. When I look at this building, I'm so disheartened and truly amazed, just I find this building unbelievable. Unbelievable. This building was designed to punish its inhabitants. The building, a huge building, oh my goodness, I don't know how many stories it is, at least 10 and maybe 15, you know, it's a big building. And it was literally designed, the building, designed and built with the intention of this building is to punish its inhabitants, to punish the people that are inside the building. What I'm talking about, you may think I'm nuts, but what I'm talking about is that the windows on the building, the windows inside of this building, all of the windows that I can see of this building, the windows are at the roof level of the room. A person in the room, I think that by law they have to have windows to let some light in for the inmates. I'm not clear on that. But they have actually designed a building so that a person in the room cannot look out the window. It is letting some natural light into the room, but the person cannot look out the window. I'm just so amazed. I was in downtown Charlotte about, it's been over a year ago, and I was waiting. I was just spending some time waiting, and I was actually right outside of their courthouse. And I met this really lovely young lady who had, bless her heart, apparently she had had too much to drink on Friday night. And this was a Monday morning I was there, or Monday late morning. So she had been arrested and she was in jail over the weekend. And she had just gotten out and she was waiting for someone to come and pick her up. So I was sitting on a park bench and she came and sat down beside me and we started talking. And she told me, this is the first that I had ever heard of this. I mean, even at that time, though, I never noticed whatever part of their building that had these cells. But she told me about this, that the cells, the prison cells, the windows were up like that, up at the roof level, these long, narrow windows up at the roof level. And that if they, I don't know, maybe if they stood up on their cot, or I forget exactly what she said, but if they took a chair, put it over by the window to try to look out the window, they were punished. They were punished for that. You know, whatever building I'm in, if there's a window close by, I'm looking out the window at nature. But you know, I just mentioned this. I'm not going to be on this show much longer, I don't think. I'm going to be playing the CDs of the Rancher book along with beautiful waterfall footage. So I'm so disturbed when I saw that building. But you know, there's a lot that's disturbing. Oh, there's a lot that's disturbing in this world here and now. And it's very easy. I see so many people that really have no hope, and especially the young people, bless their hearts. They feel like they have no hope. But life is, it's going to do nothing but get better. These problems, you know, we're going to look back at that building someday, and I hope it's not long, and I don't think it's really going to be as long as a lot of people think. The citizens of this town, and any town that has a jail like that, are going to look at that building with deep shame, deep, deep shame. This world, I'm getting ready to quit, but there was a song I just caught a few lyrics of this song, so I don't know who wrote the song, who sang the song, and I don't know the name of the song. But I really liked these words, these lyrics that I caught. And that was, let go of hate, let go of fear. If not for love, why are we here? And I think that hits the nail right on the head. This world, these problems that challenge us, we have it in us to overcome any problem that comes our way. So, again, you can go to truthbook.com online. That is a wonderful Urantia website. There's also urantia.org. There's urantiabook.org. There's many, many, many Urantia book sites. But Truth Book is quite a wonderful one. And also, if you want to hear some incredibly wonderful conversations, there is Blog Talk Radio, if I can talk, blogtalkradio.com/CosmicCitizen. It's live every Saturday at noon, but they have an archive of on-demand episodes. If you scroll down a little bit when you come to that site, you can pick any that you want to listen to. And I have heard just some beautiful, beautiful conversations there. So you might want to check that out. The Urantia book can be read online free at almost any of the Urantia sites. Again, truthbook.com. I know you can read it free. I believe you can listen to it read there as well. The book is available in very many translations, very many languages. It's up in the teens. Actually, I'm thinking it's up in the upper teens. And they're constantly working on new translations of the Urantia books. So I do believe that Jesus has returned, actually, not incarnate, not in a body at this time that I know of, but we certainly have Jesus' return in the Urantia book. The life and teachings of Jesus are part 4 of the Urantia book, and it's just exquisite literature. So that's why I'm doing the show, to tell people about the Urantia book. So right now in the mountains, it's about mid-February, and we are having sunny days in the 60s, and it is quite wonderful. So, well, anyway, I guess I will say thank you very much for watching, if you've been watching, and namaste.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and God said, let there be light. Life, oh life, life is a miracle. Oh life, life, oh life, life is a miracle. It's a miracle every time a mother gives birth. Tell me who can say how much a child is worth. A miracle living on this planet Earth, rotating to the rhythm of the universe. Life more precious than the rarest stone, more valuable than silver or gold. Life, the essence is invisible. To the scientific mind it's impossible. Like the secret of the seed that grows into a tree, the starry galaxies remain a mystery. Oceans and the seas, the air we breathe, God knows that I believe. Life is a miracle. Life, oh life, life is a miracle. Oh life, life, oh life, life is a miracle. As I turn one page of our history, I see so many great personalities, like Marcus, Messiah Garvey, Empress Selassie, and the great Bob Marley. family. Malcolm X with any means necessary. Martin Luther marching to victory. Mother Teresa, Princess Diana, even Tupac Shakur and the one Daddy Biggie. Well, they will always have a place in our memory. And in time to come, you wait and see, they will all get the gift of eternity. God knows that I believe life is a miracle. Life is a miracle. Our Heavenly Father, who art in paradise, we thank you, Jah, for the gift of life. And though this world is filled with trouble and strife, in time to come it will be worth the price. Life, the journey of experience, by growing we secure our deliverance. Life, the phenomenon, the prodigy, the marvel of an undiscovered destiny. So let's give thanks to our Father above for all of the wonderful things that He does. Life is the ultimate gift of love. God knows that I believe, yes I do. Life is a miracle, it's true. Life, oh life, life is a miracle. Oh life, life, oh life, life is a miracle. Life, oh life, life is a miracle. Oh life, life, oh life, life is a miracle. Life, oh la la life, to paradise. Life, oh, life is a miracle. Life, oh life, oh life, life is a miracle. Life, oh life, oh life.
You are one of us, ocean warriors, in the fight to save the oceans, waves and beaches of this water planet and the life that dwells therein. Ooh, ocean warriors. Ooh, ocean warriors. There is still time to change this.
It's never too late to make a positive change. Never too late, oh no. It's never too late to make a positive change. Never too late.
Sing out, Mr. Spence, man.
Tell me, what must I say? What more can I do to get this message over to you? Every man, every woman, boy and girl, it's up to us to save this world. Never too late to make a positive
Never too
change. Never too late, oh no. It's never too late to make a positive change. Never too late.
No, Miss Abanton, come to tell them it's plain to see. Obviously, planet Earth's in a state of emergency. The birds and bees, plants and trees, lakes and seas. Air that we breathe every day, we wipe out another species. We constantly create new diseases. All the while we pollute more beaches.
Nobody wants to pick up the pieces.
Ooh, ocean warrior, come Time to break down all the barrier. Ooh, ocean warrior. Yes, we are the life force carrier. Easy solo, man. With this planetary man-made pollution, we are messing with the law of evolution, causing atmospheric dissolution. God knows we need a solution. Calling archangels and seraphim, light carriers and cherubim, big people and little sibling. Life is a struggle but we never give in. Hey, hey.
It's never too late to make a positive change. Never too late. Oh no.
No way.
It's never too late to make a positive change. Never too late. It's never too late to make a positive change. Never too late. Oh no. It's never too late to make a positive change. Never too late.
Calling all the ocean warriors.
Never too late.
The ocean has always been one of life's ultimate playgrounds and most powerful spirits.
Never too late.
May all of our natural playgrounds be there for our children's children's children.
Never too late.
And God said, let there be light.